Jesus.
So let's just I'm not as good at transitions as Mason, so let's move into the news. How about we do that? Um
So you just talk like a normal person instead of finding some arcane,
some super
yeah,
segue. Um
some super segue.
the first piece of news is I am most excited about this piece of news naturally.
Hang on,
I'm
hang on, hang on. Do we have the I'm in mod view, so I can't see us, but we need to be. Are we in the scene?
the scene? Yeah, of course.
Yes. Oh, well then carry on.
Why would we not be in the scene? Why would I have us in any other scene, Mason? We are
I
clearly giving
don't
the
know.
news.
Okay, all
Posture
right.
check.
Just posture checking. All right. Okay.
um yeah, this first piece of news is the piece of news I'm most excited about. It is, as I'm sure everyone knows, Pokemon's 25th anniversary. Um I I was actually born in 96. I was born the year that Pokemon started as well. My birthday was 2 days ago. So having Pokemon come out with all their news for the 25th anniversary like now is like a birthday present as well. So I'm very excited. They started off. They gave us a trailer um, for like a nostalgia trip of all the different like Pokemon and like a whole bunch of different Easter eggs and stuff if you know a lot of Pokemon stuff. And then Pokemon Snap got an official release date, April 30th this year. We're excited. Um, yes, Katy Perry got announced to be making a album with Pokemon, and Pokemon is apparently going to feature other big artists as well on the album. I think Katy Perry is actually only making one song with them, and the name is something like Electric. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes. You're so sweet. Thank you. Happy 25th anniversary. Thank you. I know it's a big deal. Um,
Colin and Pokemon go way back.
we really do. We
Way
do.
back.
And then lastly, Diamond and Pearl remakes have been leaked to be announced in February, which I am very excited about. I was telling Mason it's my like the remakes that I've been anticipating like the second most. So um yeah, officially downhill now. I know 25. It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, Colin's borderline ancient. Sam is a sprightly young.
Whippersnapper.
Holy shit. Yeah, he's thank you, whippersnapper for all of about 2 days.
Oh, does
At
Sam
which
have a
point,
birthday here?
perhaps,
And then John has a
perhaps,
birthday on the 30th, and then Jenny has a birthday on February 8th. We're all getting old very quickly.
but not me.
No, Mason's young forever.
Yes.
um. So yeah, no, I don't. Okay, all right. Well, never mind. John doesn't. Um. Yeah, the Diamond and Pearl remakes. There was first the voice actor for Ash Ketchum like made some slight tweet about like, hey everyone, what's your favorite part of the Sinnoh region? Everybody was like, hmm. And then I don't know how the leak came out after that, but there were a couple of different sources that said that the Diamond and Pearl remakes leaked to be announced next month. So I'm excited. And then the theme of the 25th anniversary or whatever is going to be they're gonna like highlight each region, I guess, for a different month, and they're starting in March with the Galar region, which I think is the most recent one. I don't remember. I don't know the last few region names, but I
Yeah,
think
it's
that's the
which
most recent one.
that's yeah, because there's all the Galarian
Yeah,
whatevers.
yeah, that's right.
So
That's right.
it's yeah.
Yeah. So starting with that one, um, and I think that I thought I had seen one other thing as well that was Pokemon like related to the anniversary, but um I'm not seeing it now, or I'm forgetting. I don't think I wrote it down. So, but that's a lot of stuff, and they said they've got more to come. So we're excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm definitely excited about this. I'm with Colin in that the Diamond and Pearl was like the first. Well, I'm not. It's my favorite, which I'm with Colin in that regard. It's that was the first Pokemon game that I actually played through in its entirety. Like I grew up with Fire Red, um, which I got a little ways through. I think I actually beat the champion or beat the Elite Four in Gold. But to give you an idea of how much I understood Pokemon at that age. My best Pokemon was my starter. It was a Typhlosion by that point. It knew Strength, Cut, Rock Smash, and Fire Blast. So,
A
and you better
behemoth.
believe that bad boy was like, yeah, level 100, and we just breezed
Poor
through.
Typhlosion. I know.
Yeah, I did it dirty.
The damage
I
was
did,
done.
I was like, these moves are so strong. You can teach them forever. Because it was me not understanding supply and
Cut.
demand.
Cut.
And
Cut.
then I taught him, and I was like, wow, these are so good. Typhlosion doesn't want to forget them. I can't teach him
They're
better.
so good he doesn't want to forget him.
And I was so
Oh
bad.
man.
But no, I'm excited about the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Colin and I were talking about the Underground
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
all the new like social abilities that the Switch has.
There's tons that they
In
can do with it.
relation to the DS, I guess that's gonna be pretty cool.
You
It's
can
gonna be
I
pretty
think
awesome.
cuz in the original Diamond and Pearl the underground you could make your own underground base, kind of similar in Ruby and Sapphire, you could make your own secret base. So, I'm really excited for them to like have it so you can make a base of your own and then interact with other people. And I hope they keep like the mining kind of side of it. We get Minecraft Pokemon, so um
Oh yeah,
Diamond was the first
you
Pokemon game
better
I quit.
believe it. The Pokemon tournaments.
See, I don't think
That
that Diamond and
was
Pearl were bad games at all. I think that I can understand people quitting like from maybe not even X and Y. Maybe Black and White was kind of to me, and then Sun and Moon. I it took me picking the game up consciously like three separate occasions, like after I had moved on to a different game to actually finish the game.
wow.
I did not care for Sun and Moon.
I'll
Imagine
say Diamond
Underground.
and
That's
Pearl
actually
was
an entire set of games.
slow.
Oh, it was the first one you
Like
played in
yeah,
general. Oh, okay. Sorry, Mason. Go ahead.
okay. Oh, and I was just gonna say like it's slow. Like if y'all seen that the video of it's some Pokemon it's like a battle. I think it's like a Hitmonlee or something is fighting a Blissey, and it uses double kick, and it hits 5 times, and it one shots the Blissey.
Oh,
But
but it
it
takes.
actually takes like 3 minutes
Yeah.
for the move to complete. It is agonizing, and if that is the reason, like you like just as Paul said, that's the last one she played, and if that's the reason, if that's what did you in, I can't blame you like that. I couldn't. I can.
Well, see, you talk about the speed of games like that. The reason I couldn't handle Sun and Moon was because you would like take 5 steps, cutscene, take 2 steps, cutscene, and it was like it babied you through stuff. Like there was so much talking in that godforsaken game, and I was just like, it was a slog to get through. Like I just wanted to play. I wanted to play Pokemon, and you couldn't because you had to listen to How talk to you for like the 15th time in a row, and it was just yeah, no. Miss on
Was that the first like pseudo 3D one?
No, X and
Like
Y
you think the
was. I think.
okay.
I think X and Y was more. It opened up the walking path to all directions, rather than like a square linear tile set.
Like
I
it's
think.
yeah.
I missed it on Diamond and Pearl and Black and White, so excited to try and make it if that's all true. I really like Diamond and Pearl. Black and White was fun to experience once, and then they made Black and White 2, and it was like, eh, but it
Wow.
wasn't as bad, I
It's
don't
like
think.
black and white all over again.
What
I
a
don't think
deal.
I opened my case of black too. I could just
But yeah, there's definitely more to come, and us being a little bit invested in Pokemon, um, we're excited for this news. We're excited for all that happens. And if you
last I'll
do,
say on this
actually,
is
never mind. I'm not gonna do
yeah, see, I have the thermos again. No.
that.
We gotta get our flow back. But last I'll say about the music segment of this, I'm not a Katy Perry stan. Just not a huge fan of the way she writes, but I'm also not a fan of the electric type. And one, Pokemon has a huge hurdle to clear. If they're reminiscing, and we're talking about Pokemon music, to be a master CD,
That is a
God
fantastic.
tier.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I
Absolutely amazing
can't
music.
disagree with that.
Yeah, so they have some they set the bar pretty high. And two, if they're making one song for each type and using like an acclaimed artist to do so, all I can say is the bug type song better be absolutely amazing. If they hire like a prolific artist that I appreciate to do the bug song and it's great,
The Gorillas
I
bug
will
song.
be out of my mind.
They'll call it the Bug Buzz, and then we'll be done. Our channel will be over.
Yeah, we'll just be put out of business. No one will ever find our channel. Like they'll search for the bug buzz and they'll never see it.
Uh, Sophie, to your point about how Black 2 any worse than Emerald and Platinum, because Emerald and Platinum had the Battle Frontier. There was like quality post game content, and Black 2 wasn't like terrible, you know, and the story was there for it. I just wasn't really there for that as much. So the Beatles reunite for the Bug type Pokemon song. That would be something. At least what, two of them would have to come back to life. I don't remember how many of them have passed.
Pokemon would have some pull. I tell you what.
Yeah. I'm ready for all these Katy Perry memes to come back. I've already watching chat. I've seen enough Katy Perry puns to last me the whole year already. So
Second piece of news. Let me copy this link. The NALCS veers away from mimicking the image and format of traditional sports and overhauls the amateur recruitment system in an effort to recruit younger skill into the scene. So this is definitely it's big in esports news. It's league news, but I think at this stage, league is still the esport. Like if you, it used to be StarCraft, and then for a brief time, or well, there was a brief period where it was Dota, and why am I not remembering? Counter Strike
Counter-Strike?
has
Yeah.
always been around.
Counter-Strike
Yeah,
is huge. I think it's actually
but
kind of fallen off recently, but yeah, still very big.
yeah, if you think esport, you're probably thinking League of Legends, and they're the front runner.
Mm-hmm.
And NA gets a lot of spotlight, despite the fact that it doesn't get any kind of trophies or international
Despite the
awards.
fact that we're awful.
NA sucks. Like our region is really bad. So one, I'm happy to see the NA, like that esports in general is starting to come into its own. I've seen a lot of thought, like not you could almost call them essays about how esports has hindered itself by kind of like focusing on getting recognition from mainstream media, like we're a sport too kind of thing. And as almost by doing that, they've kind of kneecapped themselves. And they'll never get that kind of recognition if people look at them and see that they're pining for it, which I'm sure doesn't have any deep implications about life or acceptance. But no, it's nice to see that they're coming into their own. Other regions have already done this a little bit, but NA's finally starting to get with the program. And I think honestly, where league goes, other esports will follow. And during the pandemic, esports viewership is up. This has been a really good year for esports, and I'm a big believer in finding silver linings like that. So I'm excited about this. I'm also excited that we're finally investing more into the amateur scene to try and recruit talent. Like if you read the article, they basically go in and they tear NA a very much deserved new one about how their talent is old or imported.
I was gonna say
which
foreign
is
is a big one.
true. Yeah. It's like in football or soccer if you're here. Like professional players retire to be professional players in the NA, and then they really retire and they go do whatever retired soccer players do. But like it's such a huge step down. It's the reason we just suck. So now they're really amping up the collegiate leagues and the amateur leagues, and they're pumping a lot more authenticity into the kind of grassroots tournaments that people have just started because there's nothing like that in the NA. So
Well,
hopefully it'll lead to more cool stuff for us, and maybe even we'll be at a Worlds. Maybe.
we've been to a Worlds. We just don't ever make it out of groups. We did good at
Sorry.
MSI last year. One team did. We the thing that stands out to me is like the age limit on LCS right now. I think it's like 17 or something like that. And there's like a
Mhm,
number of really good players that I've seen before that are like 14, 15. And you see clips of them all the time. And if they like want to try to go into the LCS scene, basically the answer is just like your SOL. Whereas in Korea, if they have young talent, they will sign them
mhm,
with an org and they will like develop them with the org, with the other players like throughout time. And then once they're at that age and they can go into the LCK or whatever the case may be, you know, then they're ready.
mhm.
And they still have to get over stage experience and whatnot, I guess. But like the experience that you get from playing with veteran players and um, like I don't know, just knowledge that you may not have is crazy comparable to NA stuff, you know. Child labor laws, I don't know. I don't know what it is specifically. I think it's more of a financial kind of thing, but I haven't looked too much into it. It's been that way for a while. There was a number of like even when we were just getting into league, I remember some players that were our age that there was discussion about like you just couldn't compete in the LCS because you were 15 or 16 or whatever. So
Mhm.
I know that NA has signed people at like age 16, like when they're like a few months away from turning 17 or whatever, and then they go in. But it's not anything like Korea where or China where they just straight up sign them early on and they just develop that knowledge because they see the talent there and
Mhm.
they know that it's going to develop because of the players that they already have. But I mean, I guess that uh, assumes that you have talent in the first place. So.
Yeah, yeah. That's it's kind of interesting to see how like regional cultures and just this the cultural difference between the way the US treats that kind of entertainment talent and the way that China and Korea treat that kind of talent. And I don't know, I don't Japan's is really not all that big in the
They
league, I
have a
don't think.
scene,
That's
but
not
I don't
there.
think that it's as developed as China and Korea.
Yeah. But it's like you think about the way I think JJ and Nikki talked about this a lot on their streams, the way that Korea in particular, like they have a factory of K-pop stars.
Hmm.
Like it is down to a science and they just pump them out. They like grind these people up and they come out with like picture perfect stars that like self-destruct after 5 years out of the stress of being a picture perfect star. And I'm wondering like it's it's like a kind of to Andrew's point about the child labor, like it's weird in the States to see people that young recruited for their talent. Because here it's like, well, it's just a game and it's entertainment. It's a little more normalized for like kid pop singers,
Hmm.
but for gamers, it's because they're just playing a game. There's no future in that, and it's weird for people for like talent agencies to be like, this could be your kid's life. Like they're good enough that this could be their career. We're gonna sign them. We're gonna get in on this, and it's alien here to commit that early and for it to be a realistic thing. And I guess it's just not there. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I
So
think
I got
that's
serious reservations the more I hear about the talent, the way talent is treated
I think it's a
overseas.
large part due to just like NA's grasp of that kind of thing. Not even just in A. I guess it is mostly just in A actually compared to Korean stuff. The whole you can't do video games for a living. You need to go to college and get a job. Like that's been the normal thing, and you can see there has been development in that mindset over
Hmm.
my lifetime, anyways, comparable to before. But it's still nowhere near Korea or stuff. And even if you have watched documentaries on certain players um, from Korea, I've watched some that League has put out. Sometimes
Hmm.
their parents have reservations. Sometimes they're like, I would really prefer you to go to college or university and get a degree so that you have a fallback plan or something like that. Or I would prefer that you don't do this at all. But then there's also some parents who are just like, I knew from the very beginning that he was going to be the best in the world. So I don't know. Maybe it's a parenting thing. Maybe it's a mindset that I feel like is more common over there, so it's less alien. Here,
Hmm.
I feel like for in order to develop that kind of mindset, you have to show your parents results first, right? Like you have to be like,
Yeah,
I'm rank one on here, 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 or you have to like visibly win a tournament or something in front of them to get them
and
to
win something
understand.
from it too.
Yeah,
Like
money
it's got to pay
or
dividends.
yeah, you have to have a return um on the
Hmm.
investment in order to
Yeah,
validate your claims or whatever, I guess.
I feel like a lot of the like there has, like you said, been this huge kind of there's been a lot of progress in terms of the view of video games and entertainment as like a viable career for people and like a serious as much as serious business that it can be. But I feel like a lot of that comes from like the popularity of people like Ninja or people who like they get there through streaming and celebrity almost,
Hmm.
as opposed to this serious like um the professional agencies and organizations. Like
Kind of like the old StarCraft
you
way.
don't know. Yeah,
Like you
like
would
it's
just
people
develop
who are
straight talent.
entertainers,
Yeah.
not
Versus now. Yeah.
yeah, what I'm trying to say.
I understand what you're saying. It's like basically you get famous off of a viral stint. Like something explodes. Like the first example for me that comes to mind is Pokimane. Like she streamed for what, like 4 years, something like that, 3 years before she blew up. And I don't know exactly what happened. I don't follow her that closely, but something happened, and then she exploded and gets like easily 20K viewers every stream now. And I think it's
Mhm.
because of that, what you're trying to explain. Like it's because of some sort of social star dilemma kind of thing. Like something viral happened, whether it was like a TikTok or like the OK Boomer girl from League. Um, that kind of thing,
Or
and that
like
explodes them. And she, the OK Boomer girl, after that thing went viral, she ended up getting signed with 100 Thieves, and she's on with 100 Thieves right now.
wait, really?
Yeah, she's an entertainer for them.
I
Like
didn't even
she
know she
streams
played
and
League.
stuff. Yeah, yeah, she plays
Yeah.
League, and she's her name is Nico Lol. That's how I knew that she played League. And then once you
Mhm.
look at her Twitter and stuff, she plays League. But um, yeah, it was interesting to see that. Well, that's to your point, basically. You explode, a lot of people pay
Yeah.
attention to you, and then you get signed with an org, and now she just streams. I don't know if she does it. I'm sure she has other brand deals as well, but uh,
Mhm.
I guess that's the difference, right? In the old, if you look at the older, I don't know how many people are gonna know that, but like the old StarCraft pros would literally just, from my understanding, just lab. Just
Yeah.
hours playing
Endlessly.
StarCraft.
And that's the NA players. Like the Koreans, that was their life.
Yeah.
Like they retired at our age because their hands were busted. It's like the melee players, if they were all Mewtwo King. Like if they all lived the Mewtwo King life. Their hands just fucked. Like they just had to leave. But it's like I think that's almost a sign of the times that the professional, the consummate competitive organizations are hiring people that maybe aren't star talent in terms of winning at the game, but they are entertaining and
Hmm.
they are personalities and they have followings. Like their skill set isn't just I'm really good at League of Legends. It's I'm really entertaining when I play League of Legends. I'm good enough to be like to have your brand, but I get people interested in the game.
Yeah.
People come here to see me. Like as opposed to the people who might actually be on the big teams who it's like I've never heard of this person. They have all the facial expressions of a wooden slab and they're just not entertaining. They just happen to be really fucking good at League of Legends.
Yeah. And
Um
that's what the StarCraft
and
pros were,
it's
you know?
yeah, and it's their the NA region is kind of moving almost in that like they're recruiting the talent like the entertainers, because that's where the public is looking. That's where the public, like, that's where the validity is
Yeah.
in terms of the public eye. And I think it'll move to respect the people that are just competitors, like the technicians. But this is kind of like a stepping stone
Hmm.
almost.
It's an interesting way to think about
That's
it. I
in my
think that
opinion.
they definitely sign people who are popular because that'll get more eyes on their brand. You know, like
Yeah, that's it.
Tyler One got signed with T1 SKT after so many years of it being memed and stuff. But Tyler One is the definition of an entertainer, like the
It is.
absolute definition of an entertainer. Um, and he's a pretty good example, I think, of what you're talking about now. He's good. He's good at the game. You can't say that he's not good at the game,
Mhm.
but he's not a pro. You know, he doesn't devote his time to be in the LCS or anything like that. He's an entertainer at the end of the day, and
Right.
I I don't think it's wrong for orgs to pick up people like that if it's going to get a whole bunch of people on your brand, or if I know that Tyler One has his own merch. If he just slaps an SKT T1 logo on there and people are buying that merch, then more power to him. It's just how it is. You telling me esports is blurring
Yeah,
the
that's
lines with the
exactly
entertainment
what I'm
industry? Oh
saying,
yeah,
Charles.
absolutely, without a doubt in my mind. that is where it's headed. I think. I think Mason's right. It's a stepping stone. I think it's going to continue growing like this.
Yeah,
I think
because like
Twitch
we
is a big
respect the
example of that
entertainers,
too.
and we're on our way to respecting the the professionals. But anyway, that's a huge. We just spent like, mind
What's
you,
a
I could talk
tangent?
about this all day. This is something I think is wildly cool. Ever since I watched, and I hate to say this because in like it makes me a basic nerd bitch, but my heart goes out to all the people in my shoes who like watched the Smash documentary and were just swept off their feet and were just like, did I just watch an amazing documentary about esports? Like, was I invested in the character arcs of these sweaty, button mashing people? Like, did I forget for a moment that, these nutcases just spend hours in their basement, wave dashing on Fox because I was interested in who they are and their success and their careers. And it was just, oh, it was amazing.
But it is a
And after
fantastic
that,
documentary, and I can
it was
only
so good.
recommend that people watch it. It is a fantastic documentary, and you will get invested. I promise.
Yes. It got me playing Melee. Like, and if you know me and you know Melee, I'm not a Melee player. I
Melee's like
don't have it
overcooked.
in me.
It's like
Yes.
hectic, you know. So, um, speaking of hectic, let's talk about EA for a second. That was beautiful, wasn't it, Mason? You like that? Boom, smooth transition. Um,
You're, you're getting there, Padawan. You're learning.
um, EA's exclusivity with Star Wars is apparently over as Ubisoft as Ubisoft has announced their new open world Star Wars game. And I believe that I think Lucasfilm also took it over alongside Ubisoft. So it's them both working together to do the new open world Star Wars game. Yeah. Which, from what I understand, the last Star Wars game was not bad. It was buggy and it was like meh, but it wasn't bad. And I'm not a Star Wars guy. I don't have a lot of Star Wars knowledge at all. But I know that open world Star Wars, that's a dangerous sentence, especially involving EA. um,
It was Ubisoft. Ubisoft's not doing that bad.
no, I think
They just
Valhalla is
come out with
pretty
a lot
good.
of whelming games.
I think Lucasfilm is labeled kind of like what Disney's doing with Marvel games. EA is still making Star Wars games.
Yeah, but it's not an exclusive,
Ah,
to our
yes,
understanding.
yes, yes, yes. Um, the what was I saying? I completely lost. Oh, how is Ubisoft still alive? I think Ubisoft is doing all right. I've Valhalla, like they always release these Assassin's Creed games that are good, but they have like some issues with them. So they're not like amazing games, but they're always pretty good games. Um, Fallen Order was fantastic. My favorite Star Wars thing.
Really?
Huh. That is not what I've heard,
You
but
would be the only person I've heard that opinion out of. I Everything I've heard, like there are your Star Wars stands, and they're the people that just like the game. But general public opinion from the people I've listened to, and my own opinion from I watched Tank play the game for a good bit actually. Um, it just looked like a game. It looked like a classic, good but not great. Like as a standard triple A. Like if I was really into that kind of game or really into Star Wars, I could see just loving it. Otherwise, it's just a solid 60 presumably dollars spent kind of thing, but not great. Doesn't need to be great, mind you. Like games just need to be good. They need to be playable and enjoyable.
yeah.
But I don't know. It just never struck me as like a groundbreaking game. It just struck me as another good contender, or another good Star Wars title.
Yeah. And yeah, that's what I've heard as well. It was just good. It was very buggy at launch. I remember that, but um, IDK, I played it after a bunch of patches. I thought it was really fun, and I think that's a lot of where the video games are. A lot of video games where they are today too. If you revisit video games after a bunch of patches and stuff, then they're going to be fantastic games, which is exactly what I plan to do with Cyberpunk. Um,
No, Sophie, I just said that. No, it doesn't have to be groundbreaking to be good. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking to be great. It doesn't have to be great to be worthwhile. It just has to be good.
you mean like No
And
Man's Sky? Yeah,
this
No
was
Man's
good.
Sky is the biggest example of it. No Man's Sky is apparently a phenomenal game right now. But on release,
Yes.
everyone remembers that it was not a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
So,
That I'm kind of worried. This might. Yeah, Ubisoft announced an open world Star Wars game, and I'm worried because there's so much potential in an open world Star Wars game that I'm a little scared they're going to get hit with that hype stick,
mhm.
which is a dangerous, dangerous thing in this time. Like we just speaking of No Man's Sky, CD Project Red, you don't want to get hit with the hype stick.
No.
It's not it's not good.
I don't know. For me,
So I
just
just uh,
the main thing for me with Ubisoft games, I don't really ever like their like Assassin's Creed games. I don't really like how the UI is laid out. Like I don't like how things necessarily like look. Like it looks like they go for this very sleek modern look a lot of the time, and I'm just kind of like
mhm,
like it feels like it doesn't fit the aesthetic for me sometimes when I see it. But that's only based on the past few games that I've seen people play. I've heard that what is it? I think it was Origins or something like that. The one where you're like a Spartan or whatever. The Assassin's Creed before Valhalla. That one was supposed to be pretty good. But I haven't played that one. But I've heard that one actually got me interested. I read a few reviews after it came out, and had a few
mhm.
patches, and it was pretty good. Odyssey, that's right. Andrew's got it. But I haven't played Valhalla, but I have watched some gameplay Valhalla, and the gameplay looks good. But it's just the UI for me. For something, I think it's very personal, but it's
Really?
just like it doesn't jive with me. But they fix their games. They make
Like
solid games. Yeah,
UI
I
is
agree.
it's like I think the UI is like an undersung or under what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's a
Unsung?
sleeper deal breaker. Yeah, that works too. But it's like a good UI makes a game just like flow, but a bad UI is
Yeah,
painful,
and
painful thing.
that's why I'm saying I think it's me being picky. It's just something that doesn't jive with me. I don't think it's just uh, like it doesn't make or break the game or anything like that. But it
Hmm.
just leaves me with an uncomfortable feeling sometimes. Just like
That's fair.
But and whenever I think of Ubisoft, one of the first thing that comes to my mind is the Rabbids game for Switch.
Really?
The Mario and the Rabbids one was a
I didn't know that was
fantastic
them.
game. Oh my god. That is
Was it?
Oh, it was so good. It was like it's like the style of it's a tactics game, so it's like Fire Emblem, but like with Mario and Rabbids. Oh my god, it was
I
so good,
did
Mason.
not know that.
Oh, it was so good. I have it.
Wait, hang on. I got you that game
Did you?
for the Wii.
No, 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 no. The Switch. You're thinking of the
Okay,
old
all right.
Rabbids,
I
like
got
the
you.
Wii Raving Rabbids one or whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
way, way, way back. Okay, all right. We're
Yeah.
thinking different
No,
games then, because
the
I
one I'm talking
remember
about
looking
now
at that game
is
afterwards. And I was like,
the one where Mario and crew they have actual like guns, and you're like set up as like a tactic kind of. It's like, and well, they're like laser guns, I guess. I don't know how you would say. And then you're up against the Rabbids, and you have to go through the world and stuff. Fantastic game, great game. If you
"Are
haven't
you
played it, if you
serious?
think if you're judging it by the cover,
Oh my
it's so good,
god,
so good. Um,
I never knew that."
uh, yeah,
Whew.
I should let well, if you have it, you do have a Switch there. I should let you or John borrow the game and play it. It's so good. Oh my god, it's so good.
I might have to do that.
Anyways,
I mean, that's not the first time that comes to mind when I think EA. I always thought like Watch Dogs, and
from
when I saw the
Ubisoft.
Star Wars news, that was yeah, sorry, Ubisoft. When I saw the Star Wars news, my very first thought was, and I voiced this to Colin earlier, give me Watch Dogs, but Star Wars, like GTA, but with force powers. And it's Star Wars. This isn't Ubisoft making up their own storyline again. This is an IP with a fully fleshed out universe. So it's really easy to make a good storyline in Star Wars. And
Oh yeah.
man, that was really my only gripe with Watch Dogs 2. That and the fact that you're treated like some hero, even if you're just a sociopath who just guns people down in the street for looking at their phones.
Yay!
Yeah, but like the storyline and that were the only two things I found lacking. Everything else in that game, I really enjoyed like the GTA aspect of it. And if I could get that in the Star Wars universe, or instead of weird phone things, I have the Force and like a lightsaber, and I can just go walking through Coruscant and ruining people's days. Give me that. I want that. Okay? And Ubisoft can do it. That's what I want out of an open world game. Don't overscope. Don't go crazy. Just give me that, and I will be happy.
Yeah, I think the last time that I tried to get into the Star Wars series was all the hype around. I don't know if you remember the Force Unleashed, where you got to play as
Yes.
the guy who was like brought up as a Sith, but then he either converted or stayed villain.
Was he Star Killer in that universe?
That's I don't have Star Wars knowledge. You're asking the wrong
Okay.
guy. But they I remember there being a lot of hype around that game, and I played it. Admittedly, I played the Wii version, which I will totally take the hit on that one. But I did not think it was good at all. I know that like the PS3 I think version of it was pretty all right, and then I got like a
Mhm.
sequel, but it just wasn't what I thought it would be, I guess. It seemed pretty linear, but like I said, I played the Wii version, so I could be totally on my own in that regard. Um, but never gonna
Andrew, you're
happen with
crushing my dreams right now. Don't do that.
I think what you said about them not overshooting, I think that is a huge thing that happens in open world games today. I feel like if the possibility to create a world that's huge but just completely empty is totally plausible and absolutely happens.
Mhm. It's part and parcel, I think, with the hype stick. It's like people see this and they go crazy, and then game studios are like, they have the option of, well, it seems like the people really want this, and if we told them that we're going to have it, we could probably do that. I
Yeah.
think we could squeeze that in there, and they would go nuts,
And then suddenly
and
it's
they
a week
do.
before deadline. Ah!
It's not done. Yeah, I hope they don't overscope for this one, because there's a lot you could do with open world Star Wars, and I think it'd be really easy to overpromise on this one. So I hope they, stay in their lane. If they want to go crazy with it, build a solid framework, and then like DLC planets or
hmm
something.
They'll definitely be
But
DLC, I think. Like
yeah.
for an open world Star Wars game, that screams DLC to me.
Oh
I
yeah,
just
they could milk that for whew,
the other
ages.
thing that's interesting to me about Star Wars games is me again not being a Star Wars fan. I'm gonna tout that like till the day I die. It seems like there are two distinct types of Star Wars games. There's like your single player, like you're on the ground most of the time fighting with lightsaber kind of Star Wars games, and then there's the games
Yep.
that take place exclusively in space, in your spacecraft,
X-wing,
like completely and entirely, and they don't seem to
Rogue Squadron.
cross or interact too much. Like I don't ever really see like an X-wing style like pathing through the universe, kind of like I don't know, like Kingdom Hearts esque, where you're driving the gummy ship or whatever to your different destinations, kind of thing with the Star Wars spaceship. But like I said, I haven't played all the Star Wars games, but I just feel like that would be a cool way to connect the universe, is to have like actually travel from planet to planet in the outer world or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know. It was always a distinction that I noticed with the Star Wars games. There seemed to be like, this is our single
Mhm.
player story driven game, and then this is our space shooty game. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not. I haven't played enough of them to know. But let's see. No, this one's on you. This is your piece of news. You're.
Okay.
Let's see if you do any better with this transition.
Um, on to our next piece of news. All right. The next piece of news here. I've been actually really hyped about Super Nintendo World in Japan. There's been a lot of news about it recently because it was going to open up relatively soon. Um, Basically, it's like a mini Disneyland that's Nintendo themed, essentially. Unfortunately, the opening of it did get delayed due to coronavirus, and they had recently actually, I think there was a video that came out for like the Mario Kart ride, because there's like a ride where you can get into the Mario Karts and it's like a roller coaster kind of thing. I don't know if it was how in detail or how in depth it was, but I think I had seen that pop up on my Twitter. And looking at the photos of the park and stuff, it looks very well put together. I'm excited to see it. Again, it's in Japan, so it's not like I can go to it or anything feasible in the future. But it is a really cool thing that I would like to try and experience before it may inevitably leave this world. Like there used to be, I don't know how many of you guys know, there used to be a Pokemon theme park in Japan as well. Um, and yeah, Mason clearly didn't know. Uh, and
I don't know that.
there
What?
was, when we were younger, there was a Pokemon theme park in Japan, and it is no more. But there was a time where you got a Pokemon promo card for riding each of the different rides, and there was like they were all like different themed of like, there was like I want to say like a Lanoon roller coaster or something like that, and then there was like a Torchic one or something. But yeah, it was. Let me actually look it up real quick, because I all of these like kind of niche video game themed theme park kind of things, they seem to not last forever. Um,
Hmm.
so
And you think Pokemon? If we're talking niche, you think Pokemon might be the one game that could escape the niche. Man, if a Pokemon theme park can't make it,
mhm.
man,
2005 and 2006 Poke Park. It had two existing locations, and it was also a traveling theme park. Um, it had rides such as Lugia's Spinning, Pokemon Nightclub, Pokemon Exciting Safari, Team Aqua versus Team Magma Crash Car. This was in like the Hoenn. I think this was just as Hoenn was starting to go to like start up and stuff, and that was where I remember the
Mhm.
Torchic one from. Yeah. Um, but this is like a really shoddy kind of picture of the park if anyone wanted to see. It has like these little cool, like the ground was themed, had Pokeballs and stuff on it. Just looking at it now, I mean, it was nice, but it was one of those things that stopped existing. So I hope that doesn't happen with this one. I think this one it's in the Super Nintendo world rather than Pokemon specifically,
Yeah, it's even
that it
broader.
probably has a lot of length to it. I'm sure they can build on it. I don't know what the plot of land looks like, how large they can look to expand it, um, but I know that they just there's not a lot there right now in terms of rides and stuff. It looks like the state fair, but Pokemon. Yeah, I think that was probably a picture of the traveling one, and that's probably why. Yeah, once you get like the static ones, that's where you get more of the legit.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, and I know that also this past year, I think it was, yeah, it was 2020. Disney also did their expansion for what was it? Toy Story World. And there's like a roller coaster for like the Slinky Dog roller coaster, and there was something else. But like even that expansion only added like 2 or 3 new events or something like that. So I'm sure it takes a crazy amount of time to set up that kind of stuff. I'm excited. I definitely want to check it out at some point before it may or may not go away. It could stay around forever. I could be totally wrong. I mean, Nintendo's a huge company, and we're talking about Japan here, so um, but who knows? It's got to open first. And this piece of news to let you know that it is not doing that. So,
Not yet. What we are getting, however, is this, which I'm sure everyone will be hugely excited about. So
we almost didn't even
hang
put
on to
this
your
in the
hang on
news.
to your pants.
So,
Get on the edge of your seats for this one. Bethesda announces a new Indiana Jones title.
yeah, we almost didn't put it in. I asked Mason. I was like, "Do you like Indiana Jones?" He was like, "Not really an Indiana Jones fan." I was like, "Me neither." But then, but then it was like, "But Bethesda." So we felt like we
Yeah.
had to include it.
It's more
Bethesda.
of an opportunity. Yes, Sam. Exactly. Exactly. No, it's like it's more of an opportunity for me to talk about Bethesda than it is anything else.
Yeah.
So, for those of y'all who don't know, Bethesda is under new management or relatively new management. It's owned by Microsoft now. They bought out Bethesda.
Mm.
I view this
Real quick
as
beforehand, you should probably mention just to the people who don't know that Bethesda are the people behind like Skyrim and Fallout. They're the people
yes,
who do those series, just so
that's
everybody
them.
knows. All right.
So yeah. So Bethesda was known for a really long time as a really good game like they made really good games. They made really buggy games, but people loved them so much that even though Bethesda would just kind of continue releasing buggy games, they were good enough and had a dedicated enough following that people would fix them. Like they'd crowdsource the fixing of the bugs. So yeah, it's just like they ended up being really good games. And then they kind of got like buggier and buggier, and the engine was old that they used for the games. Like they had the same core engine that they kept changing incrementally, but it was still a very old engine at its core, supposedly. Um, and eventually, this all culminated in people kind of losing faith in Bethesda as a company. And it's hard to really name an exact game or move or
Couldn't put my
decision or game
finger on
mode
it.
that really highlights this complete lack of
I can think about
complete out of touch
76
with their player
reasons
base.
approximately that this could have happened. Uh,
Yeah, I'd say it was a royale failure on Bethesda's part. But Fallout 76 was a miserably buggy, awful, just the the PR around that
bad.
game
It's just how I would say
was so
bad.
awful. And then they come out, people are like, "Why did you do this to us?" And they come out with the battle royale. This was after people were sick to death of battle royales. They're just like, "By the way, it's a Fallout 76 battle royale."
I think.
And
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
it's like people were so like everyone I was listening to was just so sick of what Bethesda had been doing and the decisions they'd making and the directions that they were taking. And then Microsoft buys Bethesda. And like that to me was about one of the only things that could give them another shot at a make or break, like a chance to redeem them. So I thought they'd spent their last bit of goodwill to anyone who wasn't a hardcore Bethesda stan. But getting bought out by Microsoft, I think, kind of gave them another shot in my mind.
Hmm.
This was about the time, presumably, that Microsoft was working on the latest Xbox like console series, and they're probably starting to realize that they had a real lack of IPs and titles to put on those consoles, which they still haven't quite remedied. And Bethesda really needed anything, really, frankly. They had really good IPs and good creative direction, but needed somebody to get them to to get their act together. They needed management, frankly. And I think this could be it. And the reason I say the Indiana Jones game is news is that it's such an incredibly underwhelming piece of news. Like it's so I actually added it on here just to talk about how worthless this is
I
because
don't think anyone asked for it. Like,
no,
it's so out of left field. It's like,
one, I didn't know Bethesda had a license for Indiana Jones. And two, I don't know if there are like if there's a huge audience I don't know about clamoring for a Bethesda Indiana Jones game or an Indiana Jones game in general. And this isn't even going to be the big reveal of whether, but Microsoft Bethesda is the dream team or not, because we're waiting on not Starfield, I think,
yeah,
and Elder Scrolls 6.
Elder Scrolls 6, which we've been waiting
Yeah,
on.
we're getting both of those
We've
presumably
been waiting on
before
it.
this game. And yeah, so I just like by the time this game comes out, Bethesda will have revealed itself to be old Bethesda, with great, if maybe buggy games. They're back to what they used to be now that they have this new direction, like a firm guiding hand, or they'll reveal themselves to be Fallout 76 Bethesda under new management, in which case this game will bomb. So it's just really, it's, we'll see.
It's just like I don't necessarily expect any kind of Indiana Jones game to do super well. Like you'd almost have to take it like to a route like Uncharted. You have to do something in that realm with it.
That might not be bad, actually.
Yeah, that's like the best thing you could do with it, I think. I mean, currently the best Indiana Jones game out is probably what, a Lego game? Lego Indiana Jones? So, I mean, you can certainly do
Yes.
something with it. You can. I don't know how many people it would appeal to. I feel like a lot of the people who like Indiana Jones are kind of, I don't want to say older, but like, yeah, older. I don't know. I don't feel like a lot of people who like are devout Indiana Jones fans are also devout gamers. I just don't think that that's something that people are necessarily asking for, and feel like maybe they're getting on a new team or something. I just personally feel like that could be resources that would be better spent on like Elder Scrolls or Fallout or something like that. At this point, that's basically what Bethesda's
Mhm.
known for. I'd say just stick to it, right? Like you're not
Yeah.
I don't see a need to step out. I mean, if this game comes out before the other two, you're absolutely right. It could give us all a quick view of how the partnership with Microsoft is going. Um, but aside from that, it does nothing for me.
Yeah. Far screen. Yeah, it's
It's not. Yeah, you're
I
absolutely
mean,
right, Cavi.
we'll
It's
see.
not. It's not current. It's not really a thing. But however, if they do
I,
go the Uncharted route, I will probably play it. So it at the same time, I even though I'm not an Indiana Jones fan per se, I am a gaming fan. So if you
it'd be
slap a skin on
interesting
Uncharted,
if you could kind of think about it as Indiana Jones moving into a new direction almost. Like you think this is a weird video game for Bethesda, but then you think about the Indiana Jones IP as like, well, maybe they think gaming is the future, which it might be.
perhaps.
So maybe they're just like, okay, Bethesda, you may or may not have burnt out your Fallout and Elder Scrolls IPs. We have like an well-known but aging IP. If you want to try breathing new life into it,
Yeah.
we're down. So, from that angle, the more I think about it, the more I really don't hate it. I again, we'll see if Bethesda does it justice. Could be a really good move. I
Yeah,
thought it's Jumanji type vibe. Yeah.
there's potential. I don't think the last Indiana Jones movie to come out was anything to write home about either. So breathing new life into the series is certainly you got to do something. So and
Yeah.
kudos to them for getting Bethesda on board.
Oh yeah, the Temple Run. Ugh. Well, speaking of aging IPs, um, this was a heartbreaker to me. I saw this and my heart shattered into a million pieces, which was news to me because I thought I'd done a really good job of not getting myself hyped for this. I'm so scared that I'm gonna get my heart broken that I hardened my heart. It was like, no, I'm not getting excited for this. And then I saw this news and realized that I'd failed myself because my heart was broken. Hogwarts Legacy, the Harry Potter action RPG, has been delayed to 2022. It was supposed to be released this year. It will be released next year. Um, they Warner Bros. Interactive says that they're giving the Harry Potter RPG the time it needs, which with everything that's happened recently, with games coming out and people saying, this is not finished, this is not ready, I'm okay with this. Don't grind your developers into paste. Don't overpromise, underdeliver. If you got to delay the game, tell people. Do it as few times as possible by being conservative with your estimates. Like if you think it's going to be X amount of time, maybe add a little bit of time, to that guess and extend it by that amount instead of saying, well, it'd probably take us 6 months to do these. But, oh, they'd probably be really mad if we said 6 months. Say 4 months. And then, 4
Grind
months
our
comes and goes, and
employees into
oh, well,
salt.
we've rushed all this stuff trying to get 6 months into 4 months. And now we need another 4 months. Oh, but they'd be really mad if we delayed it again. Why don't we just come out with it? I'm okay with this. It breaks my heart, but I think my heart would be more broken if this game comes out and it is not finished. Take all the time you need, Warner Bros. Please let this be a good game. Please let this be a really amazing game.
The only I don't even know if it's like an issue or anything, but the thing that stuck out to me was when they announced, the PS5 and the PS5 trailer came out. This was like one of the announcement titles, like Harry Potter was
Mhm.
like maybe it wasn't a release title or anything like that. It wasn't, but it gave me that impression like it was gonna come out soon, and then they're just like next year, and they're saying next year at the beginning of a new year. So it is kind of a heartbreaker in that regard. I'm a Harry Potter fan. I'd like to see the game. I hope that it's great. So it was just kind of a sad thing to see as well. Because I was under the impression that it was going to come out pretty soon, but you lose
I
some, you
think
lose
it's
some.
I think it's fortunate that this was Sony suffering this, delay of a title. I think if they saw this kind of thing, they'd have it real bad. Like Xbox is hard up for new titles right now. Sony at least has a few.
Yeah,
So I
well,
think that they can stomach this.
Sony's been really killing it in the exclusivity world for a while now, I
Mhm.
think. So, and I don't know if the Star Wars title is an exclusive title or not. I just remember I watched the PS5 trailer and I saw it on there. I don't know if it also is coming to Xbox or not, but
I think that's the last big piece of news. We have three more, which we'll run through pretty quickly here, and then we'll get to some Overcooked. How's that sound?
I was trying to think of a food pun and I couldn't. How does that sound? It sounds like it needs to sit in the oven for 20 minutes until it's golden brown. Woo, yeah. Nailed it. You take this one, and then I'll hop back in on the one after, and the one after that. I'll finish up. Yeah, I'll do the last two, but you take this one.
Okay. Whew. Yeah. The great GPU shortage continues, and ladies and gentlemen, sadly, it is going nowhere anytime soon, as it appears. Anyone interested in building computers knows that there's been a lot of progress in the world of GPU technology, but there has been a great shortage of actual GPUs on the market. Like supply chain has not really been where it needs to be. And unfortunately, unlike RAM, you cannot download it directly from the internet. You are forced to actually buy physical GPUs for your computer. NVIDIA and AMD are two of the biggest players in, well, really the two big players in the GPU market. And they are here to tell you that they really don't have an end to this. They've both committed to making more.
This sucks. We're trying
Will
to
it be
fix it. Okay,
enough?
bye.
Yeah, basically. You're anyone trying to build a computer can still expect to spend hundreds of dollars above MSRP value
Which is already hundreds
for
of dollars, by the way.
yes. Yes, these are not cheap. But if you want a high-end GPU, expect to pay even more.
And they're fantastic products. Like, just so everyone knows, like they're not bad products at all. They're just
Oh
like
no,
the supply demand is a little uneven.
the generation over generation increase in performance for these things. I'm not a tech head, like a hardware nerd, so I don't really understand these. I can't list the numbers. All I know is that from what I've read that these are very significant improvements. Like
Mhm.
um, see, I can't even name the numbers, which makes me sound like I really have no idea what I'm saying, and I don't. Um, but these are not progressing slowly, by any like stretch of the imagination. These are outpacing, for once, the needs of the programs that they're running on or that
Right.
are running on these,
Which is a huge
which
deal
is impressive. Yeah.
because
So
like
it
you used to have to upgrade every year to 2 years just to be able to run new product. And I know a lot of people just upgraded to run Cyberpunk, but like if we can continue at this pace and you can actually just only purchase a product, you know, once every 3 years right now, that'd be fine. I have to upgrade mine and
that's
I'm
still a win.
behind, you know. I've had mine for like 4 or 5 years, so it's,
Yeah.
it's um
So hopefully supply keeps up with or will, rise to meet demand. So that people can spend less money building computers. What that boils down to.
speaking of demand.
Oh no no no! Oh, actually, you know what? That wasn't bad. I had a better one, but that one was not bad.
Okay, no. I want to learn from the master. Hold on, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. So if you are one of the many people who cannot spend all that money to build a cutting edge rig, but you too want to play games,
On your Windows
we have
96
just the thing
computer.
for you. If you can run Twitter, if you can load Twitter, you too can play crowdsourced Pokemon Red. Colin, if you would please
Yeah.
explain to the people.
So as I'm assuming, I think everyone in this chat knows about Twitch Plays Pokemon. If you don't, a while back, a number of years at this point, there was a person who created 3 out of 10. Well, who created the ability for you to play Pokemon on Twitch by inputting commands along like chat inputting commands to play through Pokemon Red. That same individual has now made it. This article needs to be read to be. Oh, that was you who said that. It's true. The same guy who did the Twitch plays Pokemon, has now made Twitter plays Pokemon, where he updated his avatar, and you can comment on his avatar with a input into the game like up, down, left, right, A, B, whatever, and then his avatar will update as like the Pokemon avatar of like it's a screenshot of the game basically with that like what just happened. And then his banner at the top of his Twitter page is his current team and the current health and stuff. And they're on the last time I checked they were on the Nugget Bridge or something. And so like it showed like them on the Nugget Bridge in front of a trainer and then somebody like said like down or whatever. And then you refresh the page, he's moved down one tile. I don't know how it works. I'm not going to pretend like I know how it works. I think it's fucking hilarious that it exists. And now we're going to get Twitter plays Pokemon with this current team is like Jigglypuff, Geodude, a Paris named Mold, which is just fantastic that the Twitter managed to do that.
Easily my
And
favorite.
I don't know, a couple of other Pokemon I can't remember. But yeah, if you want to check it out, it's hilarious. Mason linked it. The fact that it exists is just it's I think you can tell we're progressing in the video game world because before you could play Doom on all platforms. Now we're getting to play Pokemon Red
Yeah,
on all platforms.
you could play Skyrim on Alexa or whatever. Now we're gonna be able to play like Pokemon Red on like the Hive Mind. It's gonna be ridiculous. Like you'll be able to play Pokemon Red on if you download an app to your phone and shine a light on a spinning fan and it projects a screen and you can, like it's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah, they well the war total was a Squirtle when I checked, and the Wigglytuff was a Jigglypuff, and almost dead when I checked. So I'm glad to hear that Pop and A maybe are still alive. But I just think it's funny. I think it's great that he's spent time to do this. Um, but yeah, can I download it to my
Yeah,
microwave?
soon.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, like I told
That
Mason
might be
before,
next.
you can play Doom on the organ currently is the one that has me the most interested. So it's possible. We're getting there. Um,
Now the last. Oh wait, hang on. I'm not just. Hang on. All right, this is your chance. You had a good one for the last one, but I stole your thunder, so this one's all
speaking
you.
of stealing my thunder, some other evil villain who's going to steal a superstar's thunder is going to be Bowser. I think that was pretty good by my standards. I learned about this piece of news more from on Twitter from Andrew specifically than anything else. I know
I'll be
that in
right back. I need you to restroom desperately.
okay. I noticed the announcement for Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. Apparently Bowser's Fury, I did not watch the trailer. I skimmed through it right before this stream. But apparently Bowser's Fury, which is the newer game mode for Super Mario 3D World, is supposed to be a, a big deal. I know you're partnering with Bowser Jr. And thank you, John. To make it through. I don't know. I think I read that it was like an open world kind of aspect to it. But anyways, like I said, I skimmed through the video. The content looked great. Um, Apparently Mason's the supervillain and Colin's the superhero, and there's something. 100%. That was a given. Everybody knows that. Come on. Um, so yeah, I know that Super Mario 3D World is actually supposed to be one of the best like recent Mario games. I didn't play it because I think it was on Wii U. So now that this is coming to Switch alongside this Bowser's Fury game, or game mode, which looks completely badass. By the way, Bowser looks crazy badass. Um, Excuse me. It's exciting. It's exciting for people who didn't get to play before or who didn't own a Wii U, which was the vast majority of people, hopefully. So yeah, that's exciting. Regular John Mason's not here. That's fine. You're subscribing to me, the superstar, the one who runs this stream. So I appreciate
Mason
you.
not here. Armald Magoo.
Armald Magoo, my guy. Armald Magoo. Thank you, John, for resubbing. And I think that's going to conclude the news for today. And I think we're going to try and get into some Overcooked before we close out for the night. So if you're here for some hectic gameplay where I stress Mason out trying to get him to throw ingredients at me on time, then stay tuned because that is exactly what we're doing.